It was a quiet morning at the Mercedes showroom. Sunlight streaming through the glass. Floors polished enough to see your own reflection. The scent of fresh leather hung in the air, mingling with expensive cologne. Then the glass doors slid open, and in walked a man who didn't belong there. His jeans were torn at the knees, his boots cracked and caked with dried mud. His jacket looked like it had survived a dozen winters. He carried a worn canvas bag slung over his shoulder. The kind you'd see on a construction site, not in a luxury car dealership. Every head turned. Conversation stopped. The receptionist's polite smile froze halfway. A salesman standing by the coffee machine snickered, whispering to his colleague, "Lost his way to the thrift store?" The man, let's call him Henry Cole, didn't seem to notice. He walked straight to the display of brand new Mercedes trucks, eyes fixed, running his rough, calloused hand across the gleaming chrome. "I'll take 4 of these," he said quietly. For a moment, silence. Then laughter. "Sir," the salesman chuckled, "these aren't toy models. These are 6-figure machines." Henry met his eyes calmly. "Good," he said. "I need 4 for my company." The laughter grew louder. But in less than 10 minutes, those same people would be begging for his forgiveness. Henry Cole wasn't always seen as the poor guy. 5 years ago, he owned a successful construction and logistics company, Cole and Sons Freight. It started small, 1 truck, 1 man, 1 dream. But when a storm destroyed half his fleet and his insurance claim was denied, everything fell apart. He lost contracts, employees, and eventually his home. His wife passed away during that dark year, leaving him broken in every possible way. Now, Henry worked odd jobs, repairing engines, lifting crates, sleeping in a small workshop on the outskirts of town. But what no one knew was that Henry was slowly rebuilding. He had quietly invested his last few savings into restoring and selling old diesel trucks. Vintage models collectors adored. Over 2 years, that small passion turned into big profit. Henry now had more money in his account than most of those polished salesmen would earn in a lifetime. But today wasn't about revenge. It was about redemption, a test of how people treated others when they thought no one was watching. When Henry entered the Mercedes showroom that morning, he only wanted to buy trucks to restart his company officially. But the moment he stepped in, judgment hit him like a wall. A woman in a gray suit, the manager, approached him with that pity smile. "People reserved for the homeless. Sir, maybe I can direct you to our used section?" Henry tilted his head. "No, I'm here for the Actros series. 4 units, all new." Her smile stiffened. "Sir, each of those costs more than $150,000. Perhaps
Henry
you'd like to
unzipped his
discuss
bag.
financing?" Inside was a brown envelope, thick, neat, and full of documents. He placed it on her desk. "No financing. All cash." She blinked, confused, then turned the papers over. Official business registration, bank approval, and proof of funds.
Her face went pale.
Before she could react, another salesman, Daniel, swaggered over. He'd seen too many luxury customers to take Henry seriously. "Hey, boss," Daniel smirked. "You checking prices or collecting pictures for your dreams?" Henry looked at him, eyes steady. "Neither. I'm collecting trucks." Daniel chuckled. "Right, and I'm the Queen of England." The room filled with quiet laughter again. One of the saleswomen actually pulled out her phone, pretending to take a photo of Henry beside the truck, like a joke. The manager scolded them lightly, but her tone was half-hearted. She didn't believe Henry either. Henry simply said, "Call your regional manager. Tell him Henry Cole is buying 4 Actros trucks today. Paid in full." The words carried quiet authority, too calm, too certain to be crazy. The manager hesitated, then went to her office and made the call. Within 5 minutes, the dealership atmosphere changed. Her face turned red. She came rushing out, her voice shaking slightly. "Mr. Cole, I just confirmed. The payment cleared. You're actually—" Daniel's grin vanished. The laughter stopped. Henry finished her sentence softly. "The owner of Cole and Sons Freight. The same company your regional manager used to do business with. Before you all treated me like garbage." Silence. "I didn't mean—" Daniel started, but Henry raised his hand. "You meant every word. You laughed, and that tells me everything I need to know about this place." Moments later, a black Mercedes SUV pulled up outside. Out stepped the regional director, sharply dressed, clearly nervous. He walked straight to Henry, hand extended. "Mr. Cole, it's an honor. We didn't realize—" Henry didn't shake his hand. "You didn't need to realize who I was. You just needed to be decent. The director glanced at his embarrassed staff and the same ones who were laughing minutes ago. We're deeply sorry for the behavior of our employees. It's unacceptable. Henry nodded. I agree. That's why I'll be buying my trucks, but not from here. Gasps echoed. He handed back the papers and walked toward the door. The manager rushed after him, pleading, Mr. Cole, please, it was a misunderstanding. Henry stopped, turned, and said quietly, You don't beg for forgiveness when you've lost a sale. You beg for it when you've lost your humanity. Then he left. Outside, he made one quick phone call to the competing dealership across town. Within an hour, 4 brand new Mercedes trucks were being processed for his company at a special discount after hearing what had happened. Back inside, the staff stood frozen, their arrogance replaced by shame. 2 weeks later, 4 gleaming Mercedes Actros trucks rolled out of the new Cole & Sons freight yard, engines roaring like thunder. Each truck bore a simple slogan on the side. Respect costs nothing. Henry stood watching as his new team, former workers, old friends, and young drivers he'd helped train climbed into the cabs. A reporter asked him about the incident at the dealership, which had gone viral after a witness posted the video online. Henry smiled softly. I didn't buy those trucks to prove a point. I bought them to prove that kindness still matters. But sometimes people need to learn what humility feels like. The reporter asked, And the staff who mocked you? Henry thought for a moment. I forgave them. But I'll never forget the lesson they taught me, and maybe they won't either. He turned toward his fleet, sunlight glinting off polished chrome, eyes filled with quiet pride. You see, forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. It means walking away stronger. As the trucks rumbled down the highway, Henry whispered to himself, They laughed when I walked in with torn clothes, but in the end, it was their hearts that were truly ragged. That day they learned never to judge a man by his clothes, but by his character.